So today, other interesting business news, you have Fisker pausing production for 6 weeks as they desperately try to find more money. Now, Fisker perhaps is best known for the douchey Justin Bieber car that they gave him a couple years ago, or probably about 10 years ago now. It's called the Fisker Karma, which looked kind of interesting. And they, of course, in the lowest of class for that vehicle in terms of my aesthetically speaking, they wrapped it, or Justin Bieber wrapped it in like a chrome wrap, which there's a time and place for everything, and that car just looked tacky and ridiculous to me. So it's kind of known as boutique electric car manufacturer. However, they try to do everything in-house in terms of the assembly, the production, which again, that's a huge task to say the least. And because there are so many variables that go into manufacturing a vehicle, it's just assembling the vehicle, getting the right parts, manufacturing your own parts. There's a lot of quality control issues. So bad they actually one of the reasons that they originally went bankrupt. Now, they did come back a few years ago and they had an IPO and they have a couple of interesting things. Truth be told, one of my friends actually got the Fisker, I forget what they call the SUV. Their marketing isn't good enough for me to know. But nevertheless, they do have an SUV and most of the production is handled, it's not, the name of the company eludes me at the moment, but it's an OEM manufacturer, I believe, out of Austria. AKA, they're not making it in their own facilities anymore. Fisker is basically designing it and they're putting their own spin on it, but then they're paying someone else to actually produce it for them, which, again, that dramatically decreases overhead, and they're giving it out to a professional where they have a track record of, hey, we know how to assemble a vehicle, we know how to actually, get things going, get things rolling, pun moderately intended, since the vehicle is supposed to roll forward when it's fully charged. Now, this comes to us originally from Jack Fitzgerald over at Car and Driver, and they note that there's talks with a large unnamed automaker continue, while an existing investor has committed up to a further $150 million in funding, which is quite a bit to say the least. And I can't help but suspect when it comes to the EV industry, there's so much FOMO or fear of missing out. I mean, how many times have we heard, even just anecdotally with our friends, everyone who thought like maybe they should invest in Tesla and they didn't, and it was like the biggest worst financial decision they ever made because Tesla beat all the odds and ended up being one of the most valuable companies on the planet. And truth be told, you can easily argue they're the most successful EV company in history. Now, interestingly enough, let's see this Fisker stock ticker. It might be entertaining, at least to say the least. And granted, by the time this video is actually rendered and uploaded, it'll be, price will change a little bit. But this will give someone a little parameter. As of the time of this recording, it's currently trading for 13 cents per share. So they are definitely being delisted unless they have to, reverse stock split? I don't know. Because again, in the New York Stock Exchange, if you are, I believe you get two slaps on the wrist basically. If your stock goes below $1 per share, before they basically just delist you, they kick you off. And I remember back in the day when I covered Pure One Imports, their stock got to $1, but it did, I think it was 88 cents per share, but then they did a split. Not a split, was it a reverse split? I forget the technical term, but they actually moved things around so that their price was above $1 per share. And again, the market cap is sad to say the least. It's $69.92 million, which, again, for an EV automotive company is nothing. It's 52-week high, and as we say, investing is, hindsight's always 2020 when it comes to investing, which is why I don't give investing advice, with the exception of advice being, invest in yourself, try a new craft or trade. But nevertheless, their 52-week high was $7.22 per share. And now it's down to 13 cents per share. Now, the 52-week low, and this is actually a couple of hours ago, is at 12 cents per share, which means you can get 2 shares of this stock or just almost have enough money to buy a gumball, which is astonishing to say the least. Their 5-year trend, it just shouldn't be too surprising. Their stock has lost 98.7% of its value, and granted, year to date, it's down 92.17%. Starting off the year January 1st at January 2nd at $1.63 per share. So, again, I'm glad I never rolled the dice and tried to invest in that since, you think it's so low, it has to go up. No, they have fierce competition, but they have a lot of things going against them. Now, again, they have secured $150 million in financing. So that's going to help out, but I can't but wonder, they say they're going to resume production, the date March 18th, 2024. And they're saying this will help them align inventory levels and progress strategic and financial initiatives. which is it's a nice way of saying we don't need to produce that much because I don't think demand is there. Because again, there's demand for the EVs. There's about 18 people who want them. Kidding, there's 19 or 20. But humor aside, the biggest growing car category, or automotive category in the United States that people are looking to buy is hybrids. The pumps that are being braked on the EVs, pun mildly intended, the adoption rate is decreasing, and the competition is much more fierce and stable. I mean, Tesla actually turned a profit in the EV market, which again is, for many people, thought was insurmountable. It took years for them to get that, but now you could argue Tesla is a very stable company. I mean, they've been around for quite some time. They have their own customer support. They have their own support. You can't fix it yourself, unfortunately, because it's like a smartphone. But what would be the compelling reason to buy a Fisker SUV? What do they call this thing? Over a Tesla SUV. I mean, it might be. Let's see here. Let's see. Looks like, yeah, in 2023, their sales weren't even that great relative to the market. So in 2023, they delivered 10,193 vehicles. Wait a minute, they produced that, but delivered only 4,929 vehicles in the same time period. Now they say they have plans for 2025 and 2026. They're going to call it the Alaska pickup for under 20 grand, and the Pear SUV. Granted, when it comes to marketing, I'm pretty much impressed with anything that isn't just a number like BMW does so famously. So the fact that they have a moderately amusing name for a vehicle, I appreciate that. They have the Pear SUV and the Alaska pickup, which, again, it's kind of entertaining for, I would suppose it'd be pear-shaped as an SUV, but I can't help but think, the company they seem to be circling the drain very, not too dissimilar to Rivian. Not Rivian, I'm sorry. I was thinking about Lordstown Motors, which was headquartered famously out of Lordstown. Rivian they have their own issues. Their stock has been troubling, but they're actually producing their own vehicles and getting the vehicle sales numbers up. Still losing a fair amount per vehicle, but they're moving the company in the right direction by losing less money each and every vehicle. So they're moving in the right direction. When it comes to Fisker, do you know anyone who has bought a Fisker in the past couple of years? I know one person. And truth be told, this friend likes different unusual vehicles. And it certainly is that, because I think I've seen one ever on the roads. Granted, anecdotally speaking, from the great country, or some say the state of Texas. So it'll be interesting to see. Let me know, would you ever think of investing in Fisker? Or do you think you'd ever buy one of their vehicles? And why would you choose a Fisker EV when the competition is heating up higher than the lithium batteries exploding? Pun intended. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Also, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.